We'll get to the front door, open the door, and they're like, oh no. We want the buyer to walk through and say, absolutely, wow, I could see myself here. And that's where staging comes into play. 80% of the people that look online, if the house is vacant, they cannot visualize the room. There's a very small percentage that actually can. So that's why we like to stage the properties.
Welcome back to Thumbs Up SoFlo. Today I have with me Rose Sklar, who's our real estate expert that's going to talk about staging your home. How do you convince sellers to stage?
Okay, well, that is a team effort. We do a lot of discussions. We have a sit down. Everything that we do is as a team. My job is to get you the most money for your property in the shortest amount of time. So I need to show you the numbers as to what, if we're going to spend money on a kitchen or a facelift staging or a floor remodel, whatever it is we choose to do, I need to show the seller what the return on investment will be. Renovating the home is going to give you a great return on investment. It's almost mandatory today, especially in Florida. In fact, Jill, my stager, will discuss with you later that California is way ahead of the curve and that we are following suit. So any realtor that's out there that is putting these marketing techniques and implementing them in their properties is way ahead of the curve.
What are some of the biggest challenges as a realtor?
The biggest challenge is the sellers, they don't want to do it. They don't want to spend the money. Oh, the buyer can do it themselves. They're not going to like what I do. But I find that that's not correct. There are a lot of different things that you can do prior to listing your property that are going to make a huge difference to the buyers. If you can't afford the staging, there's other things that we can do. There is virtual staging, which I've been doing a little bit with, but I tend not to like that as much because we get them to the house, they walk through the door and they're lost again because there's no furniture in the property. But the biggest obstacle that I have is convincing the sellers to spend the money. A lot of times what I do is tell them, do you still wear the clothes in your closet from 15 years ago? Now I know that mine don't fit, okay? But typically they're out of style, the colors are out. It's just not gonna feel fresh and new. It's the same way with buyers. When they walk into your home and it's 20 years ago you painted your faux, that's not gonna fly, especially with the millennial buyer pool, which is now a third percent of the buyer pool currently, which is very large. And they are drawn to those TV shows. They love the light paints, they love the staging, and they want a yard for their puppy.
I go to the home, sometimes they're vacant, like this home was vacant when I first saw it. When there are families involved, a lot of times there's that emotional attachment, so we have to let them know we are here to market your home for sale. We want to get your house sold in the least amount of time for the highest amount possible. So what the great thing is here, and I love the success, we are raising all the property values here in Weston and all the other areas I stage. Every property is different, just like every person, different clothes look good on different people. So when I go to the property, I see what needs to be done. If they don't paint, I can work with what's there. And I have a vast amount of inventory. I bring what looks the best that I have available at the time and set it up proportionate with the house. The more usable areas, the higher perceived value in the home. So I try to set up, like in this home, a lot of different areas so the house is doing things. It's like a car with a lot of options. So we want to show that in the house because any buyer that was walking into this house, for example, they can't envision proper furniture layout like Rose was saying.
Right.
They just don't know where to put their things.
When I'm able to get through to the client, I love the transformation. When they come home and they say, oh my God, I think we should stay, honey. It looks amazing. And they're so surprised that it really didn't cost that much money after all.
Right.
And our team is here to help you through minor staging, renovation, total renovation, and marketing and selling your property for top dollar in the shortest amount of time. Typically, I'll walk through myself. I've had a lot of experience doing this for over 30 years. I know what needs to be addressed and can pretty much eyeball the cost in my head. I like to start with the main areas, which would be the kitchen and the bathrooms are always the big deal makers. In the end, if you want to spend something, the least expensive thing that you can do that's going to help is always one of two things. It's paint and it's front landscaping, because curb appeal is very important, and a fresh coat of paint makes an enormous difference. I'm kind of addicted to my job. I think it's like my hobby, and I like to do it all the time. So if you work with us, you're going to pretty much get me 24/7 unless I'm sleeping. Best place to reach me is 954-298-3626. Text is best.
And what is the email that they could use to communicate with you?
Best to send it to rose@sklarteam.com.
We are very unique. We're a very eclectic school. We have a combination of different curriculums. But aside from that, I think that one of the things that sets us aside is that we believe that we need to take care of the child as a whole. So part of our curriculum, we teach heart and mind, which is connecting with the children from the inside out. That's what makes us unique.
One of my teachers actually called and she asked if she was working with 1-year-olds, and she says, "Can I use shaving cream?" And I said, "Yeah, of course, they're not going to do anything with it." She calls me back about 5 minutes later and she's like, "Miss Molly," and one of the kids has doused herself in shaving cream from head to toe, taking a bath in it, laying on the floor, rolling around, and the teacher's just kind of looking at her like, "What do I do?" And the kid had a blast and she enjoyed it, and there was no harm, no foul.
A precious moment for sure.
Absolutely.
And welcome back to Thumbs Up SoFlo. Today I'm excited to have Eves Mateos from the Tiny Planet, a school out near Weston that is serving the community here and doing wonderful work every day. And I have the pleasure to know a little bit more about Eves and about the school itself. Eves, thank you so much for being here today with us. I really would like to know more about the school itself, and then a little bit about you and what excites you about being here every day. So tell me a little bit about Tiny Planet, how it came to be, and what you enjoy the most as to why you decided to join Tiny Planet.
So the little history on Tiny Planet. Tiny Planet it has over 25 years of experience. They are a Mexican company. They started from a small preschool in northern Mexico and expanded to elementary, middle school, high school, and now they have a university. One of the founding brothers decided to expand to the US, and he opened Tiny Planet, the first Tiny Planet in this country. We are on our 4th year anniversary. As a company, Gravit International, which is the mother company, we've won 8 international awards of excellence. As an independent school, Tiny Planet has won, we're on our 4th year of Best of Weston, Best Bilingual School the last 3 years, hoping for Best Preschool this year.
Yeah, well, I think it might just likely happen based on what I saw today.
Thank you.
So tell me, what is the enrollment process here? Is there an easy enrollment? Is there an opportunity where there is a possible lottery, a wait list? How is that happening, and how is the enrollment going?
Enrollment is very simple. We are at full capacity at this time, so we do have a waiting process. You come in, you do a tour. I always invite the parents to stay in the room for a little bit, get the feel of the classroom. I always tell them it's a gut feeling. It's not about pricing. It's not about curriculum. It's about the gut. What you feel, if you're feeling comfortable, if you feel like you're at home, this is the place for you. Then you fill easy paperwork out. If you have you're on the waiting list, we'll put you on there depending on the number in the classroom, and then we'll give you a call as soon as the spot opens.
Amazing. So you're at full capacity, but I'm assuming that wait list should grow from here, because based on the curriculum that you have here and the full environment seems very holistic.
Our curriculum here is a Reggio Emilia inspired curriculum. So it's a creative curriculum based upon this philosophy of Reggio Emilia. For those of you who don't know, the Reggio Emilia philosophy really encompasses a nurturing, welcoming environment where the children can learn as a whole. So it does encompass our 8 intelligences, so all of the kids learn differently. So what we want to do with our curriculum is make sure that every child gets a chance to learn. So if that's learning through writing, learning through reading, learning through playing, learning through seeing, hearing, that every child gets the opportunity to gain that knowledge.
That is critical for having a successful program.
Yes.
What is the most important thing you would think the parents would want to know about the curriculum?
Probably our learning through play. A lot of parents see preschool as play and they think that play is just playtime, it's just fun time. And it is, but it's very crucial in the development of a child because while they're playing, their brain is open. And when your brain is open, you're able to retain knowledge. So while the child is playing, say with blocks, they're counting those blocks, they're color coding those blocks, they're organizing those blocks. So they're learning essential cognitive skills as well as enjoying themselves and having a good time while doing it. I think that the reason they want to enroll it, again, going back to every child learns different. So we have a very open curriculum. So our curriculum really encompasses, the understanding, the trust, the development of the child, not just the cognitive level, but also in the heart and mind. So we want them to learn the basic skills about to be independent, to learn, the right from the wrong, and what to happen when the wrong goes on, because, at times it happens. And we want them, to really learn how to be strong, independent children, as well as learning their ABCs, their 1, 2, 3s, their colors, things like that. In our school, we're very fortunate that it's not just classroom-based learning. So in the curriculum, we have a media center, we have a gym, we also have our pool. So throughout the day, the children get to bring their learning to another location. So in the gym, they're doing not only team games, they're doing organized games, they're doing like one-on-one games, and then they're also doing free play. In the pool, we have the certified Red Cross instructor who comes and does actual swimming lessons with the children. So they're learning how to follow directions, they're learning how to swim, they're learning how to not be afraid, they're learning all those basic skills through the different instructors and the different things that we have here. I actually, I went to school for education. I graduated with my bachelor's in elementary education. I've always loved children, always wanted to, be in the classroom educating. And I was very fortunate to get, someone asked me about a director's position, and I came into the administration, and I absolutely love it. I love getting to walk into the rooms and seeing what I've made be created, and see the smile on these kids' faces, and seeing my teachers happy that they get to implement such a wonderful curriculum, and they get that creativity and that freedom to allow them to do the things in the classroom that they do. So I tell my teachers, you get paid to color and read stories and read books and things. And so we really try to just make the work environment fun. We have lots of little parties. We give them, little ice cream parties or, things like that. We spoil them with, coffee and breakfast in the morning sometimes. Just things so they can understand that we truly do care about them, that we want them to be on their best foot, and then that as they're good, the children are good.
It trickles down from top
Yes.
down, doesn't it?
Yep.
Well, thank you so much for your time and the hard work that you're doing. You're doing great things here. Please continue doing it and be inspired every day by yourself, knowing that you're making a difference.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You feel like you are coming to a party.
Okay.
Like it's like you are coming home to a friend's party. Everyone knows each other. It's really cozy.
Very similar to a block party.
It's like a block party. Yes.
Wonderful.
Yes. Live entertainment. We'll have garotas, capoeira, music from the 70s, 80s, 90s, today's. Beautiful.
Tell me about the Wine and Food Festival. What should attendees expect?
Oh, a lot of food, a lot of alcohol, live entertainment. We'll have garotas, capoeira, music from the 70s, 80s, 90s, today's. Beautiful. Like
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And it's gotten bigger every year.
bigger and bigger.
Outside of the great wine and food that'll be at the festival, what else is there to do?
We will have a live band, Venezuelan, but it's music from the 70s, 80s, 90s, English, Spanish, and we will have a local hip hop group. We will have a group of capoeira, Brazilian dancers. We'll have garotas. It's a lot of fun.
How many are you planning or thinking would be attending this year's Wine and Food Festival?
2,000 people.
About 2,000 people.
Yes.
I'm assuming of all ages and
It's mostly 21 and over, since this is alcohol. This is a family town, so we have a kids zone, but we expect more grown-up people than kids.
so the children would be entertained while the grown-ups
They
are
will
having
be
fun.
entertained, yes.
And there's a kids zone, you said.
It's a kids zone. We'll have a
Right.
bouncy house, a choo-choo train, we have face painting, so they can have fun as well. No, it's very cozy. You can go to South Beach or to Fort Lauderdale, and I have vendors who attend both events, and they come here and they say, this is so different. It's like I take care of every single detail. This is if you feel like you are coming to a party.
Okay.
Like it's like you are coming home to a friend's party. Everyone knows each other. It's really cozy.
Very similar to a block party.
It's like a block party. Yes.
Wonderful.
Yes. This is a non-profit event. all the profit, all the revenue, we give it to Hope Outreach Center. We do it for the community to promote local businesses, to promote our shopping, and to help those in need.
If I wanted to find out more about the Wine and Food Festival, where do I go?
Through our website, to get tickets, you can go to www.westontowncenterfoodandwine.com.
It's a lot easier process. We get to employ common sense. When we were in banking, we really did run the bank to make sure that we didn't run afoul of regulators, and unfortunately had many instances where we had to turn away qualified borrowers because they just didn't fit into the guidance that the banking regulators provided to us. In the private equity world, we really can make decisions that are good business decisions without the bureaucracy that's involved in banking.
Jay, tell me a little bit about what you do.
Our firm pairs up investors with borrowers. We deal with accredited investors who are typically very sophisticated, who are looking for things beyond stock and bond investments, and we try to match them with folks that need to borrow money secured by commercial real estate. And what separates us from some of our competitors are that my partner and I have a little over 60 years of banking experience, and therefore get a lot of referrals from banks that are highly qualified. So our company is structured as a fund. It's a limited partnership, and our investors essentially are partners with all the other investors, with our company acting as the general partner and doing all the day-to-day management. So our investors essentially have a passive role, but they're typically sophisticated investors, as I stated earlier, who understand the type of risk that's involved with investing in private equity versus stock market, bonds, or a CD at your local bank.
And you did mention this is a passive investment. Tell me what a passive investment is.
That's correct. This is a passive investment. The decisions are all made by myself and my partner as general partners.
Okay. What is the role of a passive investor?
To provide us with capital and to help bring deals to our table, but they're not doing anything in a decision-making process.
Tell me a little bit about the application process for your clients.
It's a lot easier process. We get to employ common sense. When we were in banking, we really did run the bank to make sure that we didn't run afoul of regulators, and unfortunately had many instances where we had to turn away qualified borrowers because they just didn't fit into the guidance that the banking regulators provided to us. In the private equity world, we really can make decisions that are good business decisions without the bureaucracy that's involved in banking.
What's going on with interest rates and how it impacts what you do?
We've seen interest rate rising in the last several months, and I think that'll continue to happen. And I believe as that happens, it's going to allow us to charge more to our borrowers and thus increase the returns to our investors. But there's really no telling. This market has been a very volatile market. The last 12 to 24 months have had things occur that I never would have predicted. So there's no telling, and it's just been a fun ride to see what will happen.
Tell me a little bit about the liquidity when one gets involved in a private equity fund.
The investments are locked up for 48 months. It is a closed fund, so if somebody comes in to make the investment with us, they have to commit to the lifespan of the fund, and the funds are all 48-month funds.
What are the minimums required to consider having an investment with you?
Yes, we typically want to have at least $250,000 as a minimum investment from any accredited investor.
And is there a maximum?
No, we'll take as much money as you're willing to give us.
What actually brought you to enter into the financial world?
It was by accident. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do when I went to college. I was a chemistry major for 3 semesters and took an economics class and decided I like economics more than chemistry. And so fell into finance, ended up getting a job in Fort Lauderdale with Nations Bank out of university and never left.
What do you enjoy most about what you do?
Interacting with new people every day. Every day is different. There's no telling what the day will have in store when I get up and go to the office, and I find that exciting. I'd be bored if I knew what was going to happen every single day.
Jay, if there's one thing that you would want your potential client to know, what makes Community Capital Holdings different?
Our management is locally based here in South Florida. Our reputations mean everything to us, and we're always going to make the right decision, regardless of how it impacts ourselves. It's going to be to the best interest of our investors.
Okay. So it certainly sounds like there's built-in credibility within the community.
I'd like to think so.
So Michael, tell me, this app that you've created, what's the one thing that you found that's been the most successful piece of families using it?
No, FAIR, which stands for Family Advocacy is Your Responsibility. It's a collaborative tool for parents to document easily while life is happening, so they can communicate constructively without having to necessarily communicate verbally. As we know, this is the only area of life where you can be in a civil suit with another human being and have to go on communicating with that person for years to come. Needless to say, people are reactive, emotional, and impulsive just when their attorneys need them to be very careful with what they say, write, and do. FAIR enables people to do that.
And welcome back to Thumbs Up SoFlo. Today I have a special guest with us that I feel is going to provide some really good information and portals of how individuals, parents, can co-parent with a lot more ease and being able to be very efficient in today's technology. Michael, thank you so much for being with us today. This is a little bit of a topic that I'm extremely passionate about. I do work with couples in my other ways of helping them decouple themselves while they're going through the divorce process. Children is a hot topic. Co-parenting is a top of mind for everything when there are children involved. Tell me a little bit about this app that you've created that parents, judges, attorneys can turn to so that they can indeed manage much more efficiently in the co-parenting process.
Absolutely. First, thank you very much for having me, Denise. FAIR, which stands for Family Advocacy is Your Responsibility, is really an amazing tool, and it touches on a subject that we can all relate with, right? You've either been through it yourself, you grew up in a divorced home, or somebody very close to you has.
Right.
And legal professionals in this field who are on the front line of this major life event, they understand well that people's well-articulated emotional plights are not going to win the day. And it's not going to also just help you to move on with your life and be the best version of yourself. What FAIR enables you to do is to document and communicate constructively without having to communicate verbally with your co-parent. And this is a very important thing to do because you never know after, sometimes people think that, hey, I just went through my motion in court and we're done, we have settlement. Life's good. I don't need to use a collaborative tool in this area of my life, but we use collaborative tools socially, professionally. This is a tool, FAIR is a tool that's been designed specifically for this area of your life, and it really does mitigate problems because most things escalate because of misunderstandings and disagreements.
Always. Yes.
Everything in the app is clear, it's extremely transparent, and honestly, it will keep things at an absolute low, keep temperaments, that is.
And that's what you want.
Absolutely.
Are you speaking from experience?
I am a divorced father of two. I went through the arduous task of having to reconcile daily logs for time-sharing schedules, expenses incurred, messages going back, my timely arrivals for pickup or drop-off. All of these things are things that you have to stay well documented with during the process, which is up to 2 years, especially here in South Florida, Broward courts, Dade courts, Palm Beach. It will take 2 years before you get resolution. During those 2 years, your attorney is telling you, document everything, every receipt. You're living in a paper world, and you have to turn that all over to their paralegal, who's then charging you $90 an hour to put it in a court-ready format, to be a court-ready exhibit. With FAIR, it's done seamlessly, and with one click, you're done. Saves you a lot of time, a lot of money, and a lot of anxiety.
Well, just that alone would make someone want to at least look into what the app has to offer. I know I've seen the app itself, and it's been receiving amazing 5-star ratings from those that have been using it, or just in general anyone that has seen it and really feels this is a really useful tool. Have you found that at this point that there are, in the legal field, in the collaborative family law practices, that they are really wanting to bring this together? How is it that you've been managing to tell the legal arena that this app actually is available?
Yeah, I have a great time with my outreach to legal professionals. They get it. Legal professionals can achieve absolutely everything their client wants, and their client would still look back at their experience and say, gosh, that was a miserable experience. And it's largely because of the discovery process. It is so hard. So FAIR now has tens of thousands of users worldwide. We're optimized for international numbers. We have the most modern and most crisp and most intuitive co-parenting app available, and I would just encourage legal professionals who are looking for a way to help their clients stay well documented. Let it be part of your premium service that you provide your clients. Judges, likely, guardian ad litems, mediators, they love FAIR because they're able to make the most informed decisions for the children in these cases. And that's what they want. They want good information to make the best decisions.
Well, certainly you're passionate about this, and I'm really hoping that we have more families that are going through this decoupling process that can at least use a tool that can take that off the table to be a lot easier to mend the family and move on to their next stages. As we know, children normally take the brunt of a lot of this. And if anything, they're the ones that would benefit the most from this.
They are,
in the
absolutely.
End. Right,
Absolutely.
I would imagine so. If someone wants to be able to know more about the app, how would they reach more information?
Please, absolutely. We're all of our social media outlets, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. It's BeFair, BeFayr. You can visit us at www.fair.com. Please leave a comment. If you like the app, please review it. Those ratings really help us. Yes. And if you have any questions, please you're free to email me directly, michael@fair.com. I'm the founder and CEO. I'm happy to incorporate any of your suggestions because we all come from different walks of life, different experiences, and I just really, really have an interest in making this the best app it can possibly be. So
thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
I'm excited for you, and I really do hope that families do consider bringing this to their legal counsel. That I've heard about this app, and I think this is great. I want to incorporate it. I know that there's a small fee involved in using the app itself, but comparing to what the fee could be overall, it's nominal.
If your legal professional is a partner with FAIR, you only pay $7.99 a month, or you can buy it by the year, which would be $79.99 a month.
Okay.
I'm sorry, a year. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you so much once again. We look to see more updates come along, and hopefully we can have more settlements come across where the co-parenting process becomes a lot easier and streamlined.